Hello YouTube, this is the Copernicus and you're watching my Let's Play of the Direwolf20 mod pack, Season 2. So last episode we got further into blood magic, and I think we're going to continue to do so this episode. We might be wrapping things up in our blood magic adventures for a while this episode. We'll see how far we get. But to make it to the next tier of altar, we need something a little bit more special than just more runes. You can see down here that I have filled this out. Two of the sides I made runes of sacrifice to get more out of each mob we kill. Then I also made two sides of augmented capacity, just so we can store more life points in the altar. So the last ring we did here, we had to top with glowstone, and this next ring we have to top with a special block that we can only get by killing mobs with a certain weapon that we have to get from rituals. So we're going to start into rituals in blood magic. They usually take a certain amount, or first you have to build the structure, then they take a certain amount of LP to either activate or continue to be activated, and then they provide you with some sort of bonus in some way, shape, or form. So all rituals require this master ritual stone in the center of them, and you can manually place down these ritual stones, but I would highly recommend getting a ritual diviner. It makes things 100 times easier. The other option is to make each of these chalks. You still have to make these chalks right here, which is made by infusing different items in the blood altar. But all you need is an emerald and some diamonds to get the diviner. And if you don't have the diviner, you have to place down all of the runes by hand, or the ritual stones, and then you have to use the chalk to mark them up with the appropriate inscription, which you'll see here in a minute. Right now, I have it set on the ritual of binding. You just shift right click to change the ritual, and it tells you exactly how many stones you need. So it says I need 24 total stones, which I have. And all you have to do is stand on the, well, you don't have to stand up, but you just right click the ritual stone and it'll place down all the blocks for you one by one. So you can see here, started placing the blocks. I guess it placed all of them. So there you go. You see, I don't have to remember, that each of these ones go here, and that marking goes there, and these markings go here. And instead of doing all that, just go ahead and do yourself a favor, make a ritual diviner there, because it is so much easier. Another thing I'm going to need, which I already made, was the weak activation crystal. This is how you activate your rituals. You need a stronger one later, but for now this will do. It's just made by putting a lava crystal, which is pretty easy to make, and a tier 3 altar with 10,000 LP. The lava crystal is actually pretty cool. You can use this as fuel, but it doesn't get burned up. What it does is it takes your LP and uses that as fuel for the furnace. The last thing we're going to need is a sword. Basically, we're going to bind this sword to our soul network and make a bound sword. So we're going to activate it by right-clicking it. It's ready to go. I just have to toss my sword, and it should be activated. There you go. So now we're going to get a little bit of a light show. My sword should pop out on the other side. There we go. Now we have a bound blade. Put out this fire here. Perfect. Okay, so the binding ritual is a little bit different than some of them. Other rituals just stay activated until you turn them off. The binding ritual is done once you the item you want is created. It also takes 10,000 LP, so make sure you have plenty of that. So the bound blade is a sword that's pretty decent in and of itself. It does the plus 12 attack damage, and it doesn't take durability. It takes LP to use. So right now you can see in my hand it's just a little orb. If you shift right click, it will turn it into a sword, but even having this sword active like this takes a small amount of LP. You can see there. I guess you have to have it active for just a little bit. Or maybe that's changed. Nope, there you go. So there you go. It takes a very small amount to stay active, so it's not like if you're out fighting in the night, you want to, turn it off every time you're not using it. But just note that you shouldn't leave it on 24/7. And so this bound blade is going to put a debuff on certain enemies that we kill, and if you kill them when they have that debuff, they have the potential of dropping a certain item that we need. So I'm going to let a few monsters come down here. There we go, we already got one actually. We actually got two, wow. I think I want maybe one more or so. It's that little red thing that you saw. There we go, that should be plenty. We got 4, oh yeah, that's good. The thing that's kind of interesting about the blade is that if you make it too strong with like enchantments and things, it can kill enemies in one shot, and that means you won't get the shards, the sweet blood shards, because if you kill it in one shot, it doesn't have time to put the debuff on the enemies. So basically, you're just totally negating the effects of the sword. So just a recommendation there. If you want to get shards out of it, don't make it too terribly strong. You can even calculate exactly what you can put on it before you know, it kills enemies in one shot. I also put a trash can over here. I put some filters on it to get rid of some of the stuff that was taking up space in here. So now I should have pretty much everything besides this uncommon treasure filtered. And I guess I don't have skeleton skulls. I might put both of those two things on there because I think that will take care of all the drops I'm getting, at least for the most part. So now that we have these weak blood shards, we can combine them with a piece of stone to get large bloodstone bricks, which is exactly what we need to top off our little pillars here. Put one of these on each side here, and we should be rocking the next tier of altar already. There we go, tier 4. And now you can see it, the capacity is 38,000 LP instead of 10,000, so we can hold quite a bit more inside our altar. So that's good. There's also some things I'm going to be wanting to make with this. Obviously the next tier of orb. What is that? The Master Blood Orb. So that takes 40,000 LP. So that's pretty good. That's why I wanted the augmented capacity runes there, just so that I wouldn't have to constantly kill mobs while I'm crafting that. Now I should be able to fill it up fully, let it craft for just a little bit, and kill a few more mobs, and that should be 40,000. So I don't have to, you know, worry about not having enough LP to craft it. So that's perfect. What else? I also wanted to craft some things that are gonna help us in the future, called teleposers. Basically, you put this block below any block or blocks you want transferred somewhere else, and then depending on which different teleposition focus you use determines how much in an area, how many blocks above your teleposer gets transported, which is going to help us a lot in Thaumcraft, which I'm sure some of you guys know, but it's a kind of neat secret, or not really a secret, but a nice tip that helps you get along in Thaumcraft. So I'm going to probably fill up this altar. I'm going to get the next tier of orb, and I'm going to start working on these teleposers, and I'll be back in just a little bit. Alright guys, so a lot of work later, and I'm finally ready to finalize sort of our mob spawner design here. For this to work, I had to upgrade our altar yet again. Oh shoot, but I haven't done that yet. I've started to upgrade it, I should say. This is what the next tier looks like. All these stone bricks have to be replaced by runes, and there has to be 4 beacons in the corner, so I went and killed a bunch of withers, got some beacons. I'm using aluminum blocks just because I don't use aluminum that much, and it's just not used for a lot, but I do use iron, so I wanted to kind of save on resources, so aluminum there. think I can still make this work the way it is, though. I had to upgrade our ritual diviner as well. There's 3 different tiers of the ritual diviner, and this one can place a different kind of rune called dusk rune, so you need 2 demonic slate and 2 more of those little chalks or inscription tools, I guess. So that upgrades it to the next level. I also went ahead and automated our production of runes here. Again, I'm not going to go too deep into the code of this, but basically what I have happening is it checks how full the tank is inside of the blood altar here, and if it's under a certain amount, it will not craft any runes whatsoever. But if it's over a certain amount, which I kind of have configurable just because, you know, we could wind up replacing some of the augmented capacity or adding some or all sorts of things, so I will have to be changing that from time to time. And right now I have it keeping 32 blank slates, 32 reinforced slates, 16 imbued slates, and 8 demonic slates. Right now it's turned off because I was doing some more crafting with it that I didn't want it to automatically handle. And all it does is take the stone from the barrel here, put it in one at a time, and it goes, okay, do I have 32 blank slates? And if that's false, then as soon as the stone turns into a blank slate, it takes it out. And it keeps doing that, and then once it gets over 32, it all of a sudden says, hey, I have over 32, I'm not going to take the blank slate out. So that lets it turn into a reinforced slate. And then it keeps building up reinforced slates until it has 32 of those, and then it stops taking those out, so on and so forth. So just a little bit of work there with the inventory manager. So that'll be nice, especially once we get this done. Then I can really let this go to town and create for us. What I wanted to do is make another ritual. What this ritual does, it's called the Well of Suffering. It harms any mobs in a certain area above it, and I'm not sure exactly what that area is, but I guess we'll find out if it just does this room or if it will get both. And it harms the mob and takes the damage from them and puts it into the blood altar automatically. So at the cost of some LP we can do this, and basically I won't have to kill mobs by hand anymore. And we can also, as soon as we get this set up, we can have the machine inventory manager also turn on and off the ritual and the lights based on our needs, because if you apply a redstone signal to the ritual stone, it will turn off the ritual. And this one is going to be active all the time unless it's turned off manually, or by a redstone signal, I should say. It's a fairly big ritual. It needs 1 space above and 1 space below it. Actually, I might even raise it up 1 more, and I'll have the runes, I think. Yeah, I'm going to raise this up 1 more, and I'll just have the runes go into the floor of the building, or the room above me. So I'm going to kind of go off that. So let's see. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, so looks like about 4 blocks in or away. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's where I need to have a space. Hopefully that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is also great because I can remove those stupid conveyor belts and the fans. I won't need to push them down a hole or anything, you know, they'll just automatically die. So let's see how this goes, I guess. I think that did it. Would you look at that? Yep. So now we have the Well of Suffering there. All we have to do is activate it to turn it on. But before I do that, I am going to go inside here and replace all this conveyor belts with dirt. So I'll be back in just a second. Alright guys, so I added a couple features. Firstly, I took away all of the the conveyor belts and replaced them with dirt. So I'd say we probably about almost doubled our spawning area. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna place a light here. There we go. So I'm gonna have to destroy these levers here. Actually, you know what? Before I do that, okay, this is gonna be tricky. I rewired it a bit. Basically, I have a redstone emitter here, and it's connected to the line that controls all of the lights. Actually, I think I only need, oh yeah. So they're actually turned on by one single lever, so that's going to be super helpful for me. Put this dark glass back there. Can even destroy all these guys. And this is where the wire runs down in the middle. I just didn't want to have it showing. I think I'm probably going to cover up all of these as well. I made a few for downstairs, but... Alright, so as soon as I destroy that, the lights will shut off. But anyways, I have it measuring the amount of blood in the altar, and if it's below, because it can store, let's see, it can store 38,000. If it's below 30,000, it activates the ritual, or it lets it be active by not applying a redstone signal, and it also doesn't apply a redstone signal to the light. So it turns the lights off, turns the ritual on. When it gets to 37,000, I think I went to, I didn't want to go to 38, just so when it gets above like 37, so pretty much full, it turns the ritual off and the lights on by activating the redstone signal on both of them. That will the redstone signal on the ritual stone will turn it off and turn the lights on. It might leave a few residual mobs that won't get killed, but you know, it's close enough. It's very efficient, I think. So I think we're going to give it a test run. Firstly, I'm going to have to activate the ritual. I'm not sure exactly how much that costs, so let me check that out quick. I'm not too sure how much it costs, so hopefully I have enough. I've got 182,000. I think it might cost 100,000. That's my guess. I'm also going to throw this in here just because I want any life points immediately to go into my orb. And theoretically, this should start spawning mobs as soon as I activate it. I don't want to connect that quite yet. I think I'm ready though to destroy this. Put up that. I think I'm ready to turn this on. Let's give it a shot. Oh, I have to activate the ritual. My bad. There we go. So yeah, it's hurting all the mobs up top and all the mobs in here. So that's a great sign. I'm sure I'm just getting... Oh yeah. You can see my life essence there just skyrocketing. Perfect. So I'm going to let this run pretty much until I'm full. I'm going to need an item collection system. That probably won't be too hard. I'll probably do a transfer node with a bunch of world interaction upgrades, I think. I could probably pipe that right into this system here, since it already has most of the items I'm going to get. And I think I'll wind up just voiding the rest. Right now I have it set up on a filter, you know, to only void these things, but I'll just make this trash can the last destination and basically have it void out anything that is already full. So once these barrels are completely full, it'll start voiding them, and I think that'll be just fine. I might put like I don't know, one transfer node here and one up there. Put a few world interaction upgrades in them, and I might wind up replacing all this piping with just the regular piping from extra utilities, just, you know, transfer pipes or whatever they're called. So I think this is going to work out pretty good. And if we reconnect this other line here, this is what crafts the runes. So it should wait until it's pretty full here. We're not getting nearly as much as we were before. We're only getting about 300 per hit. That is not very good. I do have some thoughts on how to increase this, but man, I feel like we should be getting a lot more than that. At least it doesn't use that much. Anyways, I'm going to work on those things that I said I was going to, and I'll be back when we have this pretty much wrapped up. Alright guys, so after struggling with how to pick up the items for quite a while, I think I finally found a pretty elegant solution. I originally did place 2 transfer nodes there, but I had like 15 world interaction upgrades in each, and it still wasn't picking up the corners of the room. Then I had like 1 world interaction upgrade on the top here, but that wasn't picking up the bottom room that well, and it just wasn't working that great. I couldn't quite decide what to do. I tried using like vacuum hoppers and all sorts of different kinds of things. Then I realized there was a much simpler solution with the Hopper Hawk. So I'm using the Hopper Hawk from Britannia to pick up items, and it deposits them into the adjacent inventory, which in this case is an ender chest. And the color coding on this is white, blue, white. So I just made another one down here for white, blue, white. So any item that the Hopper Hawk picks up puts in there. And instead of having to run all this transfer pipe everywhere, it now just has to come right out of here, and everything looks nice and tidy. And I did some testing, and it can pick up all the stuff up on top, as well as, oh, I just kind of described it right there. Kind of placed them all throughout there, all these stone bricks here. You can see it's picking up all of them. I did have a second one here to pick up this room, but I realized obviously that wasn't needed. And the one down here actually was like picking stuff all the way down at the ground level here, so it might have been sort of inconvenient, especially if I'm voiding the items in here. Where the heck did the stone brick go then? That's weird. It did pick up a bunch of stone brick, did it not? There's no more transfer nodes. Oh, they're sitting in here. Perfect. I was getting worried there for a minute. I haven't quite decided what I want to do with excess items. I could just void them, but I'm super worried that I will accidentally drop something and it will pick it up and will void it. So I'll probably just put a couple large capacity, maybe diamond chests over here. I do want to show you guys actually how my quarry's been doing. It's pretty remarkable actually. I'm actually gonna put this dark glass back on there, and I guess I'll let this guy do its work for now. I did put a manual override switch right there. Yeah, that'll work nicely. I also use this Manaseer monocle, pretty easy to make. It shows you the radius of effective flowers, so I could tell what that Hopper Hawk was affecting by just looking at it. So yeah, this should be just fine. I'm actually going to take this out, I think. Oh, no, actually, no, look at this. You can see it does, I have all of my blank slates, all of my reinforced, all of my imbued, and all of my demonic. I think I'll probably bump these two up to 64, maybe the imbued a bit, just so I have more on hand. But I wanted to show you guys my quarry, how nice it's been doing. After haven't checked on it in a while, I decided to go look at it. It also picked up a really handy item. You can already kind of see it. I found a portal gun in one of the chests, so it must have grabbed a dungeon chest or something. Basically, it allows you to shoot 2 portals and jump between them, so you can see there's the yellow one right there, and the red one is down on that central base here, so when I come in here, I can just jump through the portal and hop down here. I don't have to fly up and down. The coal was full up when I first checked on this, so I upgraded that a bit more. Right now it's turned off just because I really don't need it running right now. It filled up all of these chests full with coal and stuff. Now I've obviously taken the coal out, but you can see, if it stops lagging for a minute, that all of these full up with ori goodness. And you can see, like, I don't know why I did that, but I've got some diamond there. I've got none there. I've got 2 stacks of 64 diamonds there. I've got another stack of diamonds there. 2 more stacks of diamonds there, and you know, none in there, I guess. Another stack there. I've got 21 dense diamond ore there. It's nuts. This thing, and you can't even see the dirt right now. Like, that's how big of an area I made this. So I'm kind of curious at where it's mining at right now. We should be able to find it with relative ease. I mean, it's not that big. I guess it is that big. So I can't even find where it's mining right now, and it's already gotten me that much stuff, so that should give you a good indicator of how nuts this quarry is. I was thinking about speeding it up, but I don't think I need to do that anymore until quite a ways. So just so you guys know, this is how I'm getting all my resources and how I'm making these things. Let's go back to the overworld. Let's see here. Want to make sure everything's good with this. Like I said, I'm going to add those chests on the end. But other than that, I think that's it for the blood magic aspect. Between this episode and next, I'm going to work on making some more runes. And hopefully we can get this guy up another tier. So what are we at? 4 right now? 4 or 5? Okay, we're at 4 right now. So by next episode, this guy should be up to 5. All I'm going to do is replace these bricks here. I'm probably going to do quite a few speed ones. It is kind of slow at crafting. I might do, and probably the rest with sacrifice, honestly. I might do 1 line of speed and surround this rest in sacrifice, with maybe like 1 more augmented capacity just to give it a nice even number. Try to get it to like exactly 40,000 or something. Whoa. That was dicey. Oh. Dang cursed earth. Alright, we've got a little bit of a problem here. So the cursed earth spread onto that. I was wondering if that would happen. Cursed earth actually spread onto this, the dirt where my hopper huck was. I was going to make it a floating flower, which basically means you can just set it there and it floats. Actually, it's right here. It will just float. It doesn't have to be on Earth or even on any sort of land at all. But the only kind you can make of that, it seems to me, is the glimmering version right now. I don't know why that is. It's been that case for a while, but I can't seem to make the non-glimmering version. And what that means is it emits light, and that is not what I want, obviously. So I'm going to have to figure out how I can combat that, I guess, before we wrap up here. I've got one idea. It's just making coarse dirt. What is the actual name of it? Dirt. Compressed dirt, that's not what I want. Trodden dirt? That's not what I want either. This might be more difficult than I anticipated. I guess one solution would be surrounding it in cobblestone or stone or something, just so that it can't spread. But yeah, I guess I'm not entirely sure, so maybe I'll try to figure that out as well between this episode and next. But I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We got quite a bit done. I think we've gone as far as we were going to with blood magic, besides, like I said, replacing those stone bricks with runes. I will craft some more and that kind of thing with blood magic, but I think we've gone as far as upgrading goes. Holy cow, it's lightning like crazy. So I think we might step into Thaumcraft next. I'm not exactly sure, so I also need a tree farm, which has become apparent to me, but I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and I'll catch you in the next one.